Welcome back to the 13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, and it's brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash in Charlotte. Game number 10 of 11 as we wind down this third and final day, and it's the Brunswick Dolphins at 5-5, hosting the East Georgia State Bobcats at 2-10. Let's meet the starting lineups. Chris Shima, glad to be with you, by the way. For Travis Garrett's Bobcats, it's number 0, TJ Lewis, number 3, Austin Colton, number 4 is Amon McDowell, number 20, Jalen Colbert, number 21 is Jonathan Moliere. For Walter Shaw, just one change in the lineup. Corey Carvey gets the start up front in place of Jaleb Graham, and then Nasir Blackston, Tyree Boykin, Nick Burns, and Michael Hayes Jr. As the tip is won by the Dolphins. So Brunswick looking to get back in the win column. Corey Carvey comes up short. Rebound by Colbert. After that dismal performance yesterday, Brunswick losing to Chat State after beating Harcum by 2 on Friday. These two teams both looking for victories. Tyree Boykin lays it up and in. Tyree Boykin came in with just 8 points in the first 2 games, but these two teams are playing for the second time this season as Brunswick beat East Georgia State 68-50 at the East Georgia State Classic. Back in the early part of December, it was December 2nd. In that game, Nasir Blackston scored 18 points. It was really the start of this hot stretch for Nasir Blackston, who has 33 points in the first 2 games for Brunswick, and he's got 64 points in his last 4 games. So Nasir Blackston, ever since that first meeting against East Georgia State, has been on a roll. He has the basketball now, gets it to Nick Burns. Cross court to Boykin, catch and shoot 3. Tyree Boykin can't get it. Corey Carvey, the offensive rebound. So 2-0 Brunswick. Boykin will try it from the same spot, different result. Tyree Boykin gets it to go, and he has 5 now in the game. Colton. Ball deflected, Nasir Blackston with the steal. He's got the breakaway and throws it off the glass and in. Wow, what a play by Blackston. 7-zip Brunswick. Good start for the Dolphins. Lewis with the crossover. Stripped. Here comes Michael Hayes Jr., and he's fouled by Colton. Second team foul on East Georgia, 2 minutes in. Brunswick last game here at the Holiday Classic, and then they go to the Wake Tech Classic. They take on Monroe and Baltimore City on the 28th and 29th of December. We'll have those for you here on our YouTube channel. Boykin to Blackston for 3. Yes! Nasir Blackston and Boykin have 5 points each, and it's 10-zip. The Dolphins are blanking the Bobcats. Colton on the near side. And a foul called on Corey Carvey. Well, the three-point shooting was a problem yesterday for Brunswick. There were a lot of problems yesterday, but so far today that has not been the case. Earlier, this is Tyree Boykin, hitting a 3. And then back to live action now. It's East Georgia State with the basketball. McDowell on the near side. Top of the key, Moliere. 6 to shoot. Colton with 4. Colton gets bailed out with a whistle. So the Dolphins have 2 quick team fouls. In the first meeting, Brunswick shot 48%. East Georgia just 33%. Brunswick was plus 15 on the glass as well. Dolphins had 8 steals and 5 blocks in the game. East Georgia State had 9 steals and 3 blocks. Austin Colton, who's at the free throw line right now, had 12 points in the loss in the first meeting. Austin Colton, 24 points in the first 2 games here this weekend. East Georgia State losing by 3 against Caldwell. Shot season best 54% in that game. And then they lost by 11 to Cape Fear, 79-68. But the offense was looking better this weekend for East Georgia. It's been a sticking point all year. Corey Carvey from Michael Hayes Jr. Hayes Jr. grabbing at his right hammy, it looks like. Hopefully he can shake it off. 12-2 Dolphins. What a start for Brunswick. Moliere, corner 3, got it to go. Jonathan Moliere, 20 points in the first 2 games. Actually, they say it's a 2. His foot was on the line, so 12-4, the correct score. Boykin bound pass to Carvey. Blackston for 3, yes. Oh, Nasir Blackston's got his second triple. So Blackston's got 8, Brunswick 15, East Georgia State 4. McDowell takes it right side off the screen. From the elbow, jumper short, rebound by Burns. Nick Burns leaves it for Carvey, and Carvey got fouled. Well, how about the start for Nasir Blackston in this one? We showed you Boykin's 3. Nasir Blackston's hit a couple triples already, including this most recent one. Blackston's just hot right now, and he's the shooter that the Dolphins desperately needed, as they had been struggling from behind the arc. But Nasir Blackston over the last 4 games has been red hot. You've got Carvey, you've got Jaleb Grant down low, so you've got the post covered for Walter Shaw. Got to get some outside shooting right now. Blackston providing that. So is Boykin in stretches in this 4-game sequence for the Dolphins as well that started a week ago on Sunday against Central Carolina. So 4 games in 8 days for the Dolphins, 3 and 3 straight. Carvey gets 1 out of 2 on the 3rd foul for East Georgia. Grant walks it into the forecourt. Zyquan Grant off the bench. He has 11 points on the weekend. Colton top of the key. Pull up 3. Yes. Austin Colton's got 5 of the first 7 for East Georgia. Burns into the forecourt. Burns contested shot, got it to go anyways. So Burns, who had 5 coming in, 3 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, looking for his shot here in the first 5 minutes. Grant gets it to Moliere, and Moliere stepped out of bounds.
Out of bounds, Dolphins ball.
Nick Burns directing traffic as he brings it into the forecourt. Burns will fire a 3 now, too strong on it. Attacking is Baker, left it short, got it back on the tip, but he's also out of bounds. Nick Burns got doubled up, dribbles out of it. Blackston throws it to Carvey. Carvey strip. Nice defense there by the Bobcats. Colton attacking over Hayes Jr. can't score. Ball batted around. It comes to Reynolds. Reynolds, yes, in the foul. Darius Reynolds, 2 points on Friday, none on Saturday. He's on the board here today. Both teams with 3 team fouls. And that's 2 on Blackston. So Reynolds trying to complete a 3-point play, and the hot hand for the Dolphins going to have to go to the bench. Michael Hayes Jr. with the rebound off the free throw miss. So Rasheed Daniels will come in at the next dead ball for Blackston. Down low, Corey Carvey. Carvey tries to clear space and lost it out of bounds. Corey trying to do a little too much there. So Daniels in for Blackston, who departs with 2 fouls. Colton swings it out. Here's Moliere from downtown. Got another one, his second from deep. One, he had a foot on the line, so he's got 5 points. So East Georgia settling in. Now it's a 6-point lead for Brunswick. Boykin crossing over. Attacks, goes to Carvey. In the corner, Hayes, extra pass. Burns with the fake. Burns drives in, leaves it for Carvey, lays it up and in. That was a nice pass by Nick Burns. Waited until the eyes came to him. The eyes of the defense, that is. Found his man. Grant into the front court for the Bobcats. Handoff goes to Colton on the near side. Colton for 3. Offensive rebound by Reynolds. No, he's called for a push in the back. 4 team fouls on East Georgia. 13-18 to go in the first half. Dolphins lead by 8. We'll take time. '13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash. Chris Sheeman back here with you. Good start for the Dolphins. They led by double figures. It's an 8-point advantage right now. They'll have the basketball. Looking around, no changes out of the timeout. Inbound goes front court to Hayes Jr. Nick Burns with it. Boykin for 3. Yes. Tyree Boykin's got 8. So Blackston with 8, Boykin with 8. Lead back to double figures for Brunswick. Grant hesitates. He drives on the baseline, swings it out. And no good off the 3. The putback, though, is good for Reynolds down low. So Reynolds with a couple of buckets. Burns into the forecourt. Daniels right side. Carvey gets it back out to him. Burns ball fakes, takes a couple dribbles, then hands it off to Hayes with 11 to shoot. Boykin with 9 on the shot clock. He'll fire another 3 and bury another 3. Tyree Boykin has 11, 3 triples. Brunswick by 12, matching their biggest lead. Moliere, the hot hand for East Georgia, gets it to Colton. Baker drove in, Colton for 3, and air ball. Carvey with the rebound. Carvey passed a little bit off the mark, and Nick Burns unable to recover. Michael Hayes Jr. will go out of the game as he helps his teammate Tyree Bracey off the floor. Bracey into the game. For East Georgia, Nate Parker is out there, scoreless in the first 2 games. He's got the basketball on the elbow. And then a whistle on Brunswick. Both teams with 4 team fouls here in this first half. And Boykin picks up his first. Nasir Blackston has 2 of those 4 fouls. That's why he's not in the game. Grant out deep. Reynolds, Baker on the right side. Now Parker drives in, had it blocked, and they got tied up. Jump ball possession arrow will keep it with East Georgia. I don't think they're going to reset the shot clock, though, so Bobcats got to be aware. They only have 7 to shoot. Grant with the inbound. Parker, 4 to shoot. Grant got to get one off. He does. Carvey the rebound. Burns for Brunswick. Couple of dimes already for Nick Burns. Bracey out to Boykin. Boykin steps inside the arc, can't get the jumper to go. Nice box out there by Reynolds. Here comes East Georgia. Down by 12. Don't want to fall behind too far if you're East Georgia here early because this is not a potent offensive team. It's a team that likes to work the clock. Reynolds attacks. Reynolds with a nice play. So Reynolds with 6 points. He had 2 in the first 2 games. Rasheed Daniels to the hoop, can't get it to go. Defense by Reynolds there. Parker into the front court, left wing Moliere. Parker to Grant. In the corner, it's Moliere. Jumper off, a rare miss today for him. Reynolds the putback short. Carvey couldn't handle the rebound. Now Grant has it. And we got a timeout for East Georgia with 17 on the shot clock and 10:03 left to go here in this first half. We'll step aside. This is what's coming up next for Brunswick. Thursday and Friday, 28th, 29th after Christmas. Be with you at the Wake Tech Classic, Monroe and Baltimore City. And then the Dolphins, just 1 home game in January, and then a ton of them in February. So Dolphins will be road tripping. Pass was poked away, but it's off East Georgia, so Brunswick gets the basketball back. Chris Sheeman back here with you, 13th Annual Holiday Classic. It's been a fun weekend. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm going back to the home studio in Cleveland after this, and Jaleb Grant comes in and travels, and I'm going straight into hibernation for the rest of the winter. So I'll be with you remotely the rest of the season. But it's been fun to come down, see Walter Shaw, see the guys again. I think this is my 7th year doing it. Driving Reynolds had it blocked, and then Reynolds hits the deck. It's going to be 5 team fouls on Brunswick, with 9:31 left to play here in this first half. Ladies' game will wrap it up. Dolphins in Southwest Virginia coming up after we're done here. We've had a lot of moisture on the court today. It's a muggy day with the storm coming out of the Gulf Coast and up the Atlantic coast, so it's not especially hot in the gym, but it's humid everywhere. Moliere had it blocked, got it back, waits, can't score. Jaleb Grant had trouble with it. Dolphins post players got to get better hands on the defensive rebounds. I mean, just allowing the Bobcats to outwork them down low. And for Reynolds, he's got 8 points. Now a steal. Here is Lewis to the hoop for his first bucket. And just like that, it's a 6-point game. Rasheed Daniels, bounce pass trickles away. It's another steal. Reynolds. And the tip in by Reynolds. Dolphins got to talk about it. They're in a funk. Nice little run here for East Georgia. They trail by 4 now after the Dolphins have led by as many as 12. So we'll take time, come back here in just a moment. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be with you. 26-22. As Rasheed Daniels gets ready to inbound. Ooh, Nick Burns got tripped up. No, they say he stepped out of bounds. He's asking for a foul called. Might have been another wet spot out on the court, though. The referee's going to make sure. So East Georgia getting some stops together, getting some buckets as well. See if they can get another one. Cut further into this deficit. Out deep, Parker. Parker, Morlier, Baker, Grant, and Reynolds. Grant for 3, no good. For the Dolphins, it's Bracy, Burns. Another steal. Attacking is Grant. The Dolphins have really not done a good job taking care of the basketball this weekend. It's been sloppy. So a player down right now for East Georgia. And with 8:25 left to go, it's going to be a foul called on Bracy. So Baker's shaken up. He'll have to come out, hopefully just briefly. McDowell comes back in for him. So Grant at the line for 2. Saquon Grant. The first free throw is no good. So Grant gets 1 out of 2, and Brunswick's lead, which has been as high as 12, is now just 3. Cam Oates into the game, helps break the press. Jaleb Grant, Nick Burns, Rasheed Daniels, and Bracy. That's the 5 right now. Cam Oates attacks, had it stripped, got fouled. McDowell says, "What did I do wrong?" Cam Oates with 5 points yesterday goes to the free throw line and misses the first. So Oates missed them both. Colton back in. McDowell had to leave after picking up his second foul, so played just a few seconds coming in for the injured Baker. Grant gets it to Reynolds. Here is Colton, top of the key. Grant on the right side. Reynolds scores. Darius Reynolds with 12, and it's a 1-point game. 11 straight by East Georgia. After the Dolphins went up by 12, it was 26-14. Dolphins have been in a funk ever since. Burns can't score. Rebound controlled by Moliere. They got to get Boykin or Blackston back in the game at some point here in the very near future, because this offense is just not clicking right now. That's going to be a tie-up, so Dolphins have the possession arrow. Burns into the forecourt. Oates for three up top. Missed it back rim. Rasheed Daniels, the offensive rebound. Cam Oates had it poked away. Just sloppy right now for Brunswick. Parker hangs, can't score. Turn around, tried to recover, couldn't do it, and then we have a foul called as Daniels got the rebound. So both teams with 16 fouls, 6:28 left to go in the first half. And a timeout on the court here at the 13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. We'll be back. Welcome back to the 13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. It's brought to you by Coastline Express. Can't thank Philip and the folks at Coastline for handling the bills for us. Chris Sheeman ain't cheap, y'all. I know I sound like a cheap broadcaster. It's something you find at the Greyhound bus station late at night, but trust me, I ain't cheap. So shout out to Coastline Express. When you come down to the beach, get yourself 7 or 8 car washes down there in Charlotte. Nick Burns, turnaround. Jaleb Grant missed it short. Dolphins haven't scored in forever. It's an 11-0 run by East Georgia after they trailed 26-14. The Bobcats, we've seen this all weekend long. This is a team that's going to keep fighting. Doesn't matter what the score is. Here's Grant on the right wing. Colton, top of the key, Moliere. He's been hot today. Can't get that one to go, but this guy, Reynolds. Reynolds is outworking everybody for Brunswick. Darius Reynolds, 12 points. He had 2 points in the first 2 games combined. So Jaleb Grant picks up his second. Corey Carvey, Nasir Blackston, Tyree Boykin, I think, are going to get ready to come in. No, Blackston's going back to the bench, it looks like. But they got to get the big guys. The big guns need to come back in for the Dolphins, foul trouble or not. So 2 of those 3 do come in, Carvey and Boykin. Grant and Cam Oates go out. Tied at 26. So Reynolds up to 14 in the first half. It's a 13-0 run. East Georgia has erased the 12-point deficit. They have their first lead of the game. Cam Oates. Up top, this is Bracey for 3, yes. Tyree Bracey, who had 11 yesterday, 14 on the weekend, gives Brunswick the lead back. That ends a 14-0 run. Correction, 13-0 run. Attacking Moliere out of control, but again, it's Reynolds. Nobody is boxing out Darius Reynolds, and he's got 16. He came into the weekend averaging 1.8 points per ball game. He's got 16. All the hustle plays. And the Dolphins cannot take care of the basketball. So tied at 29. Dolphins are, quite frankly, lucky to be tied at 29. They had a fast start, which helped. Nasir Blackston with 8 points. Tyree Boykin with 6. Those 2 combined have hit 4 3-pointers in the early going. Nice defense by Daniels. What a pass by Nick Burns, but then Bracey traveled with it. Got to get back to basics, running the figure 8 there. That was spacing that caused that travel there by Bracey. Tyrone Barbie into the game. He's hit some timely shots this weekend. 17 points in the first 2 games. Inside 4 to play here in the first half. Grant to Colton, top of the key. And the corner pocket 3, an air ball by Lewis. Rebound by Bracey. Burns throws it ahead to Barbie. Barbie scoop, can't score, ball batted, and it's a rebound for Grant. East Georgia has numbers. Carvey slow to get back. He hit the deck. So an open look for Colton for 3, no good. Tip for the rebound, and it's handled by Barbie. So Dolphins starting to pick up the intensity on the defensive glass, which is a good thing. See if we can get more fluid offense on this side now. That's going to be an offensive foul called on Nick Burns.
First foul of the game.
I haven't seen Dad Burns. Get with me if you're on Twitter. If you're in the building and you didn't come say hi to me, I'm going to be really mad. Nick Burns' dad understands the marketing aspect of junior college, because every once in a while he'll send me a little, a little reminder. Hey, we're here. Don't forget. Boykin. Corner 3 by Barbie. No good. Ball batted out. Barbie chases it down. Extra crack at it now for Brunswick. Tied at 29. Corey Carvey swings it out. Barbie to Boykin. East Georgia just running guys, disrupting passing lanes. Dolphins will have 7 on the shot clock, and they'll have to inbound in the backcourt. So Bracey with the inbound. Nick Burns got to get cooking. 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot for Burns. Throws it up, can't get it to go. Carvey fighting for the rebound. Bracey tried to save it to Carvey. The pass was a little bit low, but it is deflected off East Georgia, so it'll stay with Brunswick. Wet spot out on the court. Got to clean that up with 2:06 left to play here in this opening half. Game number 10 of 11. I know my voice probably sounds like I've been talking for 10 straight games. Starting to sound like 1980s Lucy, you know, after she had been smoking for 50 years. The thing with Desi and I is I just couldn't make it work. That's what that's what my voice sounded like. Moliere showing off some dancing moves while he was cleaning up that wet spot. Take that man to the club, ladies. Here is Tyree Boykin. Barbie corner three, yes. I told you, he's been hitting some timely shots. Came into the weekend averaging just over 3 points per ball game, but Barbie has looked good here this weekend. Here's Reynolds. Reynolds attacks and scores. Boy, he's hot. Darius Reynolds has 18 in the first half. And I'm just going to tell you right now without looking at the stats that this is his season high. Boykin, Barbie. Barbie had it poked away, lost it. Nice defense by Grant. Throw ahead to Lewis. Slam, dunk. TJ Lewis. Offense to defense for East Georgia. They have a 1-point lead, 33-32, with 1:07 left to go in the first half. Burns from the wing swishes it through. So Nick Burns' second basket. Grant into the forecourt. Ball deflected. Here's Burns with the steal. Burns, scoop and score. Nick Burns has 6. 4 straight points for Nick Burns. 36-33. 7-second difference. Game and shot clock now. Lewis top of the key. Moliere hands off to Colton. Down low, Reynolds traveled with the basketball. Shot clock is off for Brunswick. They can hold for the final shot of the half. So credit the Dolphins. They went through a funk in the middle portion of this first half. A 13-0 run by East Georgia gave them the lead. East Georgia's had a couple of leads here in the first half. Well, the Dolphins turn it over here. Lewis takes it himself, too strong. And that will do it for the first half. 36-33, Brunswick in a helter-skelter defensive battle over East Georgia. Here at the 13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic, we'll take time, come back 15 minutes, bring you all the second half action. Don't go away. Welcome back to the 13th annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. It's brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you as we are underway here in the second half. If you're just joining us, Brunswick Dolphins built a 26-14 lead. Then they got sloppy with the basketball. East Georgia went on a 13-0 run to take the lead. And then Brunswick answered back, and we are 36-33 in favor of the Dolphins right now, although Moliere ties us at 36. 8 points for Moliere. Leading scorer in the game, Darius Reynolds, who came in averaging less than 2 points per ball game. He's got 18. He got all the hustle plays against Brunswick. He's got another rebound here. 5 points for Colton, 4 for TJ Lewis. Meanwhile, for Brunswick, Nasir Blackston with 8. Tyree Boykin with 6. Those two combined have 4 3-pointers. 5 for Corey Carvey, 3 apiece for Bracy and Barbie. I almost forgot Nick Burns. I can't forget about Nick Burns. Dad's watching. Nick Burns with 6 points as well in that first half. A couple of nice dimes, too. Lewis contested Jay, got it to go. And the Bobcats are feeling good, tied at 36. Speaking of Burns, he has it in the forecourt to Hayes Jr. Now, correction, East Georgia has the 2-point lead. Carvey, top of the key. Blackston for 3, no good. Nasir Blackston picked up 2 quick fouls. And so he had 8 points early, but had to sit a lot of that first half. Moliere, the face-up way off the glass. Carvey ran out of room trying for the defensive rebound. Game number 10 of 11 at the Holiday Classic. We have one more for you later on. It's the ladies taking on Southwest Virginia. Reynolds, that's going out of bounds. It needs some help. It's going to stay on this side of the court. So 10 on the shot clock for the Bobcats, who are trying to avoid going 0-3 here in this tournament. Been talking about it all weekend. This team's 2-10. That's not indicative of what they're capable of. This is not a 2-10 basketball team.
Corey Carver with the block.
So Carvey swats it from Colton. Now here's Boykin for 3. Yes. Tyree Boykin has 14 points in the game, leading the Dolphins. Is that right? Yeah, Boykin does have 14, so I was off with the stats at halftime. My apologies. McDowell top of the key with it. Corner 3 by Colton, in and out. Rebound by Hayes. Michael Hayes Jr. gets it to Nick Burns. Corey Carvey down low, and Carvey's frustrated with himself, and you can understand why. He's just having trouble with his hands right now. Caleb Grant's had the same problem today. The Dolphins bigs have not been able to take care of the basketball. So McDowell into the forecourt. Lewis on the right wing. McDowell. Now Colton top of the key. Shot clock at 7. Pull up by Lewis, yes. TJ Lewis with 8 points here today. Blackston gets it to Carvey. Carvey spins, has it stripped. Taken away by Lewis. Burns recovers to break up the fast break, but nobody helps him, and down low, McDowell scores an easy 2. Amon McDowell came in with 28 points in the first 2 games. That is his first bucket here today. So East Georgia leads by 3. Caleb Grant is going to come into the game for Michael Hayes Jr. We're ready to play basketball. Tiger Aldrich coaching up the bigs right now. Burns into the front court. Boykin top of the key. Burns surveys, goes to top to Grant. J.Lo Grant got fouled. It's the first foul in this second half for either team. So Nasir Blackston inbound, shot clock back at 20. Carvey, Burns. Burns directing traffic. Calls for a screen, now to Corey Carvey on the left wing. Shot clock down to 9. Entry pass deflected by Moliere. East Georgia has been pushing it a little bit more than we saw in the first two games when they were really working the clock. Here's Reynolds, the hot hand. Gets it out, 3 by McDowell is good. Amon McDowell's got 5, and East Georgia's opened up a 6-point lead. Dolphins got to respond here. Burns, yes. Boy, Nick Burns has been aggressive offensively today. They've needed him to do that. He's got 8 points. So 4-point game. Here is Colton. Handoff to Lewis. Reynolds on the wing. Moliere. And he goes right around Carvey and scores. Jonathan Moliere goes into double figures with 10. Joining his teammate Reynolds, who has a game-high 18 points. And as I mentioned, Tyree Boykin with 14 for Brunswick. Here's Nick Burns to Corey Carvey. Carvey swings it out. Boykin again. This time it's long. J.Lo Grant's got the rebound, but before that, a foul on the floor. And it's going to be the second, I believe, on East Georgia with 14:36 to go here in the ballgame. So Colton picks up the foul. That is his second, they say. And another wet spot out on the court. Dolphins will be off until after Christmas. 28th and 29th, they'll be in Raleigh at the Wake Tech Classic against Monroe and Baltimore City. And we'll have those for you on the Dolphins YouTube channel. I'm going to interrupt my Christmas vacation and call those two games. There's a wet spot out on the opposite side of the court that Nick Burns and the official are working on. Thanks, Tom. Terrible form by the official there. Oh, just a choke job trying to kick it away. You know, I've been hard on the officials all weekend long, but this game's been really well officiated, and I think we need to acknowledge that since I've been mouthing off so much all weekend long. Corey Carvey. Yes, and the foul. So Carvey up to 7 points. It's the third team foul on East Georgia, but this has been a very physical game, and the Zebras have let them play, you know. So McDowell has 3 now. Carvey's got 7, looking for 8. Yes, he does have 8 now. And it's a 3-point game, 47-44. These two teams playing for the second time this season. Brunswick won by 18 at East Georgia State back on December 2nd. Here's Colton. McDowell, ball fake, and scores. East Georgia shooting lights out. McDowell's got 8 points, 50-44. So East Georgia has matched its total. Corey Carvey, beautiful footwork there. So 10 for Carvey. But East Georgia has matched its total from the first meeting. We still have 13:50 to go in this game. Colton has his pocket picked by Boykin. Boykin 3-on-2. Looking for Grant. Grant had to save it. Blackston back to Jaleb. Jaleb had it blocked. Nasir Blackston left of the lane, got it to go. Wasn't pretty, but you know what? It's 2 more points for Brunswick. Now McDowell. Lewis goes opposite of the screen, parts the C, can't score. Jaleb Grant saves it. Nick Burns ahead of the pack is Carvey, and that's going to count. It probably shouldn't have. I think Carvey hanging on the rim allowed it. I think he was going to miss the dunk, but he hung on the rim, and then the ball went through. So Carvey and the Dolphins maybe catching a break there. We're tied at 50. Top of the key, Moliere, yes, for 3. Jonathan Moliere with the baker's dozen. Here's Nick Burns, guarded by Colton. Burns gets a screen, takes it up top. Carvey on the block, flips, scores. Corey Carvey starting to wake up. He had 35 in the first 2 games, 21 yesterday. He's got 14 now today. Amon McDowell. Handoff goes to Lewis. This is Colton on the left wing. 12 minutes to go in the game. Don't want to leave him open. He's been hot. Moliere not that time. So Dolphins catch a break there. Burns into the forecourt. Blackston left wing. Fires a contested 3 and hits. Wow, what a shot by Nasir Blackston. He's got 13 in the game. Dolphins lead by 2 after trailing by 6 here in the second half. Reynolds stripped by Blackston. Nick Burns gets a screen, drives left. Doubled up, got it to Jaleb in the lane. Bunny is good. Jaleb Grant's first bucket. He had 20 in the first 2 games combined. Moliere top of the key. Moliere right side, puts it up off the back rim, tips it up. So Moliere now with 15 on the day. 10:49 left to go in the game. 2-point lead for Brunswick. Boykin off the back rim. Rebound by Lewis. Lewis looks to push. And McDowell stepped out of bounds. I'm really surprised how fast East Georgia is playing, given that they were working the clock and so methodical in the first 2 games. Timeout on the court, we step aside, 10.5 left to go. Dolphins by 2 in a tight one. th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic brought to you by Coastline Express Car Wash. Chris Sheeman back here with you. Final men's game here at the Classic. Dolphins trying to make it 2 out of 3. Right now they are in a tight one, a 2-point game. Corey Carvey got tied up down low, and the jump ball possession arrow favors Brunswick. Jalen Colbert is out there with Lewis, Grant, Baker is in the game, and Moliere. That's the 5 right now for East Georgia. I don't think Walter Shaw has made a sub yet here in the second half with 10:20 to go in the game. So, oh yeah, Jalen Grant came in for Michael Hayes. But other than that, it's 4 starters and Jaleb. Push going to be called there. That's going to be team foul number 4 on East Georgia. So Blackston will inbound it. And we got another wet spot out on the court. We need, on a humid day like this, we need one guy. You know how they do it in the NBA where there's, made basket, and then they got the guy underneath who comes in and does the floor after every make. We need that here today. So Blackston to inbound, 20 on the shot clock, 10:18 on the game clock. Inbound goes to Corey Carvey. Here's Nick Burns. Burns has 8 today. Jaleb Grant with 2 points. 10 to shoot, face up, and Jaleb Grant using his size. So Grant puts Brunswick up by 4, past the midway point now here in this second half. Colbert on the right, top of the key, it's Moliere for 3, no good. Carvey the board. Burns into the forecourt. Boykin fakes the 3, uses the baseline. Carvey has it poked away from him. 3-on-2 now for East Georgia, and Lewis off the dime from Grant. So Lewis has 10. It's a 2-point game. Timeout by Travis Garrett and the Bobcats, and we'll take a break as well. Updated look at the broadcast schedule. Dolphins fans will be with you 28th and 29th. Wake Tech Classic. Some good opponents there, Baltimore City and Monroe. Monroe we've seen for the last 2 years here at Brunswick. A quick steal and a dunk by Baker. Out of the timeout, East Georgia ties us. And that's going to be a walk. Dolphins again starting to get a case of the yips. Run this back real quick if we can. Check out this inbound here. And then just an easy jam. So back to live action, tied at 59. Grant to Lewis. Brunswick beating East Georgia by 18 earlier this month. In a battle right now. Long on the 3, that ball's going out of bounds and it's going off Brunswick. There should be one. Did the ball touch the rim or was that an air ball? Okay, so the shot clock will be at 20. I think the officials are asking the same question that I was. So Lewis with the inbound. Out to Grant. Lewis with 5. And a couple of pumps. Nice fake by Colbert for his first bucket. So East Georgia goes back up. Now Nick Burns. Throws full court to Corey Carvey. Blackston on the wing. Carvey, yes. Now Corey Carvey with 16 in the game. We are tied at 61. Inside 8 minutes to go in this one. Another barn burner here at the Holiday Classic. We had a couple blowouts earlier today. But this one going down to the wire. It's going to be the first foul on the Dolphins here in the second half. Grant Lewis attacks the baseline and scores. TJ Lewis with a dozen. Boykin into the forecourt. Now Burns sets up the offense. Caleb Grant on the wing. Nick Burns hangs in the air, can't score. Pushing Grant. Outlet goes to Baker, somehow saved it. And what a play by Lewis on the reverse. TJ Lewis with 14. East Georgia by 4. Burns on the right wing. Corey Carvey doubled up, gets it back to him. 10 to shoot now for Brunswick. Carvey down low with 5. Can't score. Tipped up and in, though, by Caleb Grant. Grant's got 6 now. 2-point game, East Georgia by 2. Brunswick will lead by 12 in the early stages of this one, but it's been a battle. What a play by Nick Burns. Corey Carvey gives him the assist. But what a play by Nick. Tied at 65. It's the 4th tie in the last 7 minutes of this game. Lewis now handing it off. Here's Baker. Grant driving baseline. Here's Colbert. Colbert swatted. Carvey throws it ahead. Boykin one-on-one. Boykin draws contact. How about the guard play today? We've talked a lot about the bigs. Corey Carvey for Brunswick and also Reynolds. But some nice guard play here in the second half as you see the little dipsy-do. And then Nick Burns will show you Nick's shot here in just a moment as the first free throw goes down for Tyree Boykin, so he's got 15 now. And then let's take a look at this steal by Nick Burns. So Burns, little flip, goes behind his back, over the shoulder, and slam dunk by the big guy, Corey Carvey. Here's Reynolds back into the game now for Travis Garrett's team, so Dolphins got to box out. Boykin gets both. So Dolphins now leading, Boykin with 16. Baker, Lewis, Grant, Reynolds, and Moliere. For the Dolphins, Blackston, Boykin, Burns, Bracian, and Tyrone Barbie out there. We've seen very limited subs by both teams here in the second half. Barbie with a swat. Burns tossed to Bracy, and Bracy will back it out. Nick Burns has Grant draped all over him. 5 minutes to go in the contest. Dolphins by 2. Bracy swings it out. Barbie, extra pass. Boykin got hit, and he's going to shoot 3 free throws. 16 foul on East Georgia, by the way. So next one puts Brunswick in the 1-and-1. So Boykin, 56% free throw shooter, 17 after he hits his first one. Make it 18. Dolphins by 4. If they can get this next free throw, I think this would be their biggest lead here in the second half if Boykin gets all 3, and he does. Tyree Boykin has his team up 70-65. 4:53 to go. Grant over to McDowell. Grant shoots a 3. He missed it short. Rebound by Barbie. Barbie gets around his man. Or that was Burns, excuse me. Boykin cross court to Nasir Blackston. 10 to shoot for Brunswick. Blackston crossing over. Bracy attacks. Bracy, yes! It's a 7-point lead for Brunswick. East Georgia's got to have a score now. The momentum starting to shift. Here's McDowell. Colton. Grant with 9 to shoot, throws it away. Dolphins get the deflection, Barbie gets the steal. Burns into the forecourt. It's Boykin, it's Bracy. Barbie for 3. I told you he's been hitting timely shots all weekend long, and that's a big one. Dolphins by 10. 3:15 left to go. This is a must possession now for the Bobcats. Down low, they get it to Reynolds. Reynolds is going to be fouled by Boykin. It's just the second team foul on Brunswick. But how about the weekend for Barbie? He's not exactly, not lighting it up stat-wise, but every one of his shots has been big here today. And all weekend long, as we take a look at the last play, there's Barbie from the left wing getting it to go. Boy, now even the ball is wet. Like I said, there's been very few subs here in this second half, so a lot of these guys are Gonna need them electrolytes afterwards. Colton for three, no good. Tip for the rebound. Barbie had it poked away. Lewis hangs. Lewis scores. TJ Lewis with 16 on the day. And East Georgia calls for time. 2:52 left to go in the game. Dolphins trying to pull away. Bobcats trying to hang around. We'll be back in just a moment. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be with you here at the 13th Annual Brunswick Holiday Classic. It's brought to you by our friends at Coastline Express Car Wash. Dolphins briefly take a double-digit lead. East Georgia answers back, and now Brunswick going to have to navigate the press. And it's not always been smooth sailing this weekend in these scenarios. Blackston to inbound. Here's Barbie. Barbie almost picked up that pivot foot. Tyrone, who hit a huge three-pointer moments ago, gets it out to Bracey. Nick Burns with it. Burns trying to lose Grant. Grant stays with him. Burns misses. Put back. Yes. Timely buckets for Tyrone Barbie. He's got 8 today. Lead back to 10. Dolphins in a good position here. Couple more stops should wrap this up for Brunswick. And again, and I sound like a broken record, but your heart breaks for the Bobcats. They were in this game. They were in all the games this weekend. Just, at least as of right now, can't seem to finish strong. Blackston, no whistle there. No whistle there either. Oh, these officials are after my heart. They're just letting them play basketball. This is the way it's supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. Not 50 free throws a game. Blackston, ooh. Chasing down the rebound, Lewis. So the window's still open, but East Georgia got to get cooking. Grant tries to help him. Can't score. Offensive rebound, McDowell, and he caught it and the foul. Boy, if you're the Dolphins, do not foul right now. 2 is fine. 3 is a problem. For Brunswick, it's just their 3rd team foul. For Bracey, it's his 2nd. $18 points for Darius Reynolds today for the Bobcats. 3 other players in double figures. Molier's got 15. TJ Lewis with 16. And now McDowell has 10. And he's at the line trying to make it a 7-point game. Still 3 possession. If you're East Georgia, well, he missed it. But if you're East Georgia, maybe start thinking about extending the game here. We'll see. Bracey has it out deep. Nick Burns at the logo. Colton's on Burns. Now Bracey on the right side. Top of the key, Barbie drives in, swings it out to Boykin. Shot clock at 4. Dolphins with 1. Burns got to get it off, just does. Offensive rebound, saved by Boykin, then it trickles away from Bracey. Throw ahead, Baker slam dunk. And this isn't far from over. It's a 2-possession game, 40.5 seconds left, and a timeout. We'll step aside as well. Welcome back, everybody. So a two-possession game now. Brunswick will have the basketball, 77-71. With 40.5 seconds, it's always important to note the jump ball scenario and the possession arrow favoring the Bobcats. So Blackston inbounds. Barbie back to Nasir. Blackston playing keep away. They got a foul. Blackston doing a nice job to get away from his man. So they're not fouling here. Now they finally foul, but they let 13 seconds go off the clock. So Blackston with 13 points today. Corey Carvey's got 18 to lead the Dolphins. Missed the front end. That window is still open. East Georgia's got 20 seconds to work with. This three would help. And he goes down for Colton. Austin Colton up to 8. It's a one-possession game. Here we go again. This is looking like the Harcum game all over. Can Brunswick hang on? Timeout on the courts with 19.9. And we'll go away once again. Welcome back, everybody. While we have a moment, I don't see him in his familiar chair, so I got to give a shout out because I'm assuming he's watching me instead. Dr. Gene Smith, president of Brunswick Community College. Thanks as always for the hospitality. It was good seeing you yesterday if you're on the broadcast. So business to handle for the Dolphins. Tyree Boykin going to the free throw line. But it's a one-possession game here. Now, you only, quote-unquote, need one here to make it a two-possession game. But don't want to mess around. If you can get two, get two. Miss them again. The front end is no good. Chance to tie now, and they lose it out of bounds. The pass from McDowell looking for Lewis is out of bounds. And the Dolphins are going to have another crack at it here. Boykin inbounds to Nasir Blackston. He's fouled immediately. And that's the guy you want if you're the Dolphins at the free throw line. 9th team foul, so still a 1-and-1 situation. But Blackston is an 80% free throw shooter. He's got 13 points today. And again, let's just make this a two-possession game here if you're the Dolphins. Give yourselves a little breathing room. Still time for two possessions for East Georgia, of course, but oh, they miss again. My goodness. Here we go. McDowell. Colton just stayed in bounds. 6 seconds to go. He fires. No. Rebound by Barbie. Burns gets it. He's fouled with .5. East Georgia was maybe looking for a foul call there on Colton, who did hit the deck, but I don't see Travis Garrett doing a lot of complaining about it. So with 5/10 of a second, I can't say it enough. Your heart just breaks for this Bobcats team if they can't hang on here. And with 5/10, there's not much you could do, free throws or not. The Dolphins, if they're going to win this region, they had better figure out how to close these games out better. But the Dolphins, it looks like, going to win 2 out of 3. And you take the good with the bad. But if you're East Georgia, your heart breaks for them. And that will do it. Nick Burns has 9. The Bobcats fall to the Dolphins, 78-74. East Georgia now 2-11. Brunswick is 6-5. And we got one more game coming up here at the Holiday Classic. It's the Dolphins women taking on Southwest Virginia. Come on back for that one in 20 minutes from now.